Okay, so how fast is fast enough? That little opening rip that introduced this video, I wasn't really watching the speedo, but I got up to 70 or 80, and an F3 will get there pretty fast. It's not weighted down much with stuff, and it's a pretty swift machine, even when it's running in eco mode. Do I ride that way all the time? No, don't need to, don't have to. Riding itself is a great trip, and it's one that I really enjoy. So welcome, YouTubers, subscribers, friends of mine. Good to have you along with me. It's a beautiful day for a ride. The sky is nice and blue, patchy white clouds again. I could take a lot more days like this, that's for sure. Temperature is just about right, and I'm having fun. Those of you who ride, whatever it is, 2 wheels, 3 wheels, 4 wheels, it's all about having fun, isn't it? That's how we get our kicks, and it sure is a good way to escape the isolation. We're all having to deal with it, and each of us has to deal with it in our own way. So, on this whole fast thing, what's the fastest you've ever been in any vehicle? And I'm not talking about jet airplanes. I think my high water mark was 136 miles an hour. It was in a 65 Chevy Impala with a 396 and a 4-speed. That was a pretty quick car. It was geared fairly tall, so 136 was very doable. And yeah, the speedometer was totally buried. It was kind of fun, and it was a nice straight stretch of road going across a causeway between Georgia and Alabama. It wasn't my car, and I wasn't holding on real tight because I trusted the driver. But wouldn't have been too cool if we had blown a tire or something, would it? Might have had 4 dead men, and that wouldn't have been too cool. All of us talk about fast cars, fast motorcycles. It's kind of in our DNA. But how fast do you really have to go? I don't know. Fast enough to get where you're going and getting there safely. I guess that's the main thing. But young guys, middle-aged guys, and old guys, we all like to talk about performance. And we've all had our machines, I think, that give us that in fair measure. I think I enjoy my machine more for just running down the road than how fast it can go. And quite frankly, I don't know how fast this F3 will go. I know I've had it up to at least 80, maybe a little more. You reach a certain speed when you don't want to take your eyes off of where you're going, even just to glance down at the speedometer. But, I don't know. How important is that? Do I worry about having my ECU remapped? Do I worry about running racing fuel? Do I worry about anything like that? Probably not. I'm just enjoying the ride. Now this Buell S3 could really get up and go. It was a great motorcycle. I enjoyed it, and it was very fast. Had a lot of low-end torque. And with the 1200 cc's and the thunderstorm heads, it produced 101 horsepower at the crank. Now in today's world, that's not a whole lot. I mean, they have motorcycles making 150 and more horsepower. And, that's a lot of power. I enjoyed the Buell. Sometimes I wish I still had it, but seeing that I don't ride 2 wheels anymore, I guess it's not very important now. What was the best bike, the fastest bike you ever had? I think the S1W White Lightning, another Buell, was probably a good deal faster because it was lighter than the S3, and it was really designed for one purpose, and that's to get one guy down the highway really fast. Now it's the same horsepower as the S3, but didn't have much on it. It was definitely a very naked bike. It had a saddle that was like a 2x10, and there was no room for a passenger. Just wasn't made for that. I put a high-performance air cleaner on it. I put on a performance exhaust system, Vance & Hines. Made a real sweet sound, and it was loud, man. Like I'd go up Central Avenue early in the morning, Sunday mornings, to go to a bike meet in Chicagoland, way up towards the northern suburbs, and set the throttle at a certain RPM, see how many car alarms I could set off. It was a few, believe me. So, other than the occasional rip or general high-speed driving, how much performance and speed do you really need on a day-to-day basis? I find that this S3 is absolutely as much performance as I would ever want. And quite frankly, I don't use all of it. Far from it. I don't even come close. I'm barely scratching the surface what this machine can do. And it's nice to have that. But suppose it had 75 horsepower or 50 horsepower and was taking maybe 10 to 12 seconds to get to 60. Would that matter? I don't know. Would I get better fuel economy? Maybe a little bit. I guess when it comes right down to it, I really don't care about speed, miles per gallon, or anything like that. I just like the machine that performs well, looks great, and it's a lot of fun. If you don't get those things out of whatever you're riding, maybe you shouldn't be riding. I plan to ride this thing as long as I can. I don't put big miles on it like Great Rides does, but I enjoy it as often as I can and have a great time every time I go out. I've had a dream for a long time of getting on US Route 11, which is the route we just turned off of a ways back, and driving that all the way up to where I used to live in North Syracuse, New York. Packing my camping gear and just taking the slow road, never touching an interstate, going through all the little towns and suburbs and just enjoying the ride. Pitching my tent at a KOA or other private campground and having a ball. I don't know if that dream will ever come true, but it sure would be nice to try it. I won't be having a partner, so I can keep the tunnelman bag on the tail end of the bike, which gives me a little more space. And I would be traveling fairly light. One of the things I'm afraid of is I keep putting this trip on the back burner. It's just never going to get done. I was thinking probably taking 2-3 days to get up there. Maybe more. Whatever it takes. Now I'm on Old Von Ohr Road, which is not a very long ride, and this turn right here is probably the most challenging one that I'm going to be taking. Well, maybe there's one other, I guess, and even that's not that exciting. But this is, once again, one of those nice, quiet country roads, the kind those of you that follow me know I really like best. Nice and green through here. Got the summer heat will be coming here before long, and beautiful, cool days like this will be a thing of the past. So I guess I'm just gonna take off now. Leave you with good tidings, great joy. Ride safe and keep the rubber side down. Speedster Johnny, still riding along.